Your original hometown dealer, Saida, Trudeau Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram.
Israel made their opening arguments today in the case that accuses them of committing genocide against the Palestinian people. They insisted that the war in Gaza is a legitimate defense of its people and has stated that Hamas militants are who should be guilty of genocide. Israel went on to describe South Africa's allegations of genocide as hypocritical and has stated that the case reflects a world turned upside down. Tal Becker, a legal advisor representing Israel, stated that the country is fighting both a war it didn't start and a war it did not want. He continued on, stating that, in these circumstances, there can hardly be a charge more false and more malevolent than the allegation against Israel of genocide. As they continued their opening arguments, they focused on the October 7th attack, which ignited the war, when Hamas stormed through several Israeli communities and killed approximately 1,200 people. Those people were mainly civilians. Hamas also took around 250 people hostage on that same day. Becker went on to state that, they tortured children in front of their parents, and parents in front of children, burned people, including infants, alive, and systematically raped and mutilated scores of women, men, and children. He also said that South Africa's request for an immediate halt on the fighting occurring in Gaza amounts to an attempt to prevent Israel from defending itself against the October 7th attack. Despite hearings having ended today on January 12th, the International Court of Justice's President Joan E. Donoghue told the court that they would rule on the request of urgent measures as soon as possible. Israel's UN ambassador, Gilda Erdan-Kale, the case a new moral low as well and stated that by taking it on, the UN and its institutions have become weapons in service of terrorist organizations. The war has resulted in the death of over 23,000 people in Gaza who were killed during Israel's military campaign, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Keep in mind that the Health Ministry does not differentiate between civilian and combatant deaths. According to reports as well, 85% of Gaza's people have been displaced due to the war, resulting in a quarter of the enclave's residents facing starvation. The majority of northern Gaza has been reduced to rubble as well. South Africa says that this amounts to genocide and is a part of Israeli oppression of the Palestinian people, oppression that South Africa states has been going on for decades. Tembeka Ngukaitobi, a lawyer representing South Africa, has went on to state that the scale of destruction in Gaza, the targeting of family homes and civilians, the war being a war on children, all make clear that genocidal intent is both understood and has been put into practice. The articulated intent is the destruction of Palestinian life. The Palestinian Authority's foreign minister has also commented, stating that South Africa delivered unequivocal evidence that Israel is deliberately and systematically violating its obligations under the Genocide Convention. Malcolm Shah, who is representing Israel, stated that Ngukaitobi's remarks are random quotes not in conformity with government policy. Israel has also reiterated that it takes measures to protect civilians, which include issuing evacuation orders before they conduct airstrikes. The country blames Hamas for the high civilian death toll, stating that the group uses residential areas to stage attacks and for other military purposes. Should the International Court of Justice issue an order to halt the fighting and Israel ends up not complying, it could end up facing UN sanctions. However, said sanctions could be blocked by a veto from the United States as well.